Every moment is a fresh beginning, says T.S. Eliot. We are all gathered here for such a very fresh moment today. I request all the dignitaries to come over to the dais for a special moment to welcome Dr. Srihari. He comes with a rich experience and knowledge all the way from United States with a very important, renowned institution, Binghamton University. On this occasion, I request our Honorable VIT Chancellor to welcome the gathering.
Most respected Vice President Dr. Shekhar Viswanathan sir, respected Advisor Professor S.P. Tyagarajan sir, the hero of today's function, Dr. Krishnaswami Srihari, the distinguished Professor and Advisor to Chancellor, and respected Additional Registrar, Professor P.K. Manoharan, Deans, Directors, HODs, and my dear faculty members, very good afternoon, Soltuma. Good morning, Soltuma. 10 seconds. Okay. So, very good afternoon to all of you. Anyway, you have enjoyed tea, we have not taken. Okay. Friends, see, this is not a orientation program talk. Professor Srihari was pointing, எந்த லாங்குவேஜில் பேச போகிறீங்க நீங்கள் அப்படின்னு. இட் இஸ் ஒன்லி ஒன் யூனிவர்சல் லாங்குவேஜ், ஆங்கிலம் தான். மை ரோல் இஸ் வெரி சிம்பிள், ஒரு 5 நிமிஷத்துக்குள்ளே முடிச்சுக்கிறேன். மை ரோல் இஸ் டு வெல்கம், hearty welcome to Professor Dr. Krishnaswami Srihari. Let's give a big applause to Professor Krishnaswami Srihari. Yeah. Krishnaswami Srihari, there are many accolades I have seen in the website and downloaded it, but எல்லா நல்ல வார்த்தையும் வந்து நம்ம தியாகராஜ் எஸ்பி தியாகராஜன் சாருக்கே கொடுத்துருவோம் அப்படின்ட்டுன்னு he will formally introduce that Krishnaswamy sir, because SPT is a benchmark advisor in the sense he was a Vice Chancellor of University of Madras, he was a Chancellor of this Abhinasalingam, and now he is the advisor for our Chancellor. So our வசிஷ்டர் வாயால் ஸ்ரீக்கு இவர் நம்ம ஸ்ரீஹரி சாரை புகழ்றது நல்லா இருக்கும்னு சொல்லி ஐ வாலண்டியர்லி கேவ் தட் ரோல் டு அவர் அட்வைசர் சார். இருந்தாலும் நானும் ஒரு பிட்டு போடணும் இல்லையா, இல்லைன்னா ஸ்ரீஹரி சார்கிட்ட நான் எப்படி பழகிறது. அஃப்கோர்ஸ் he is an erudite academician. இதை பார்த்தாலே தெரிஞ்சிடும் உங்களுக்கு, erudite academician. And his field of interest, interestingly, is electronics, packaging, healthcare, an icon in the field of healthcare and electronic packaging and electronic manufacturing. Generally, a professor, நான் பார்த்ததில் 40 வருஷம் இருக்குது எனக்குமே இந்த டீச்சிங் லைனில். ஒரு நல்ல வாத்தியாராக இருப்போம், ஆனால் R&Dயில் கொஞ்சம் ஒரு சேலஞ்ச் இருந்திருக்கும். சரி, வாத்தியாராகவும் இருக்கிறோம், R&Dலையும் இருக்கிறோம், அட்மினில் ஒரு சேலஞ்ச் இருந்திருக்கும். பட் இங்கே இருக்கிற நம்ம ப்ரொஃபஸர் ஸ்ரீஹரி வந்து இஸ் எ 3-in-1. He is an academician, he is a researcher, and he is an administrator. Let's give a big applause to Professor Srihari. He is also an illustrious alumnus of Virginia Polytechnic Institute. Professor, if I am right, he is also Guindy product. Yeah, illustrious alumnus of a CEG campus, which is around 230 years old, also having a very good QS world ranking. And he's a socially conscious researcher. Researcherன்றது வந்து ஏதோ ஒரு பப்ளிகேஷனோ PhDயோ போஸ்டாக்கோ ப்ராஜெக்டோன்னு இல்லாமல் சொசைட்டியை மைண்டில் வச்சுட்டு he has done the research. That's something amazing, Professor Srihari sir. And most importantly, sincerity, the symbol of sincerity, honesty, dedication, commitment. Above all, integrity. That's also very important. It's an embodiment of integrity, a personification of thorough professionalism. Vijayalakshmi madam enna paathirukanga, olunga English solrana illaya. Personification of thorough professionalism. That's what is Professor Srihari. We are fortunate to have you here, Professor Srihari sir. நாங்கள்லாம் வந்து மோதி கோட்டோ இல்லை டையோ எல்லாம் போட வேண்டியதாக இருக்குது. உங்களுக்கு சிம்பிளாக வெள்ளை கலரில் வந்துட்டீங்க. தட் இஸ் இந்த நம்ம தேர்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்டில் படிக்கும்போது ஆல் கலர்ஸில் ஒரு சக்கரம் வச்சு இப்படி சுற்றினா வெள்ளை கலர் தெரியும் இல்லையா? யூ ரிமெம்பர் தட் எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்ட்? எஸ், தட் இஸ் வாட் இஸ். You put all the NAC criteria, 7 criteria தானே NACல, curriculum, teaching learning, research, infrastructure, student progression, best practices and governance. இந்த 7 சுத்தினா வெள்ளை கலர் தெரியுதுல்ல, அதுதான் டாக்டர் ஸ்ரீஹரி. So with this, before you all get, you are all hungry, before all of you get angry, I stop here. And I welcome on behalf of the VIT leadership our esteemed Srihari sir. And we are happy you have accepted our invitation to be as a distinguished professor and advisor to Chancellor. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சதில் he played a very significant role in making arrangements, especially during the recent PhD awarded by the Binghamton University for our Chancellor. கிட்ட இருந்து எல்லாம் ஒரு அந்த விருந்தோம்பல் மாதிரி. Though he was very busy as a dean to conduct the proceedings of convocation, he took a very personal interest and made everybody happy. Thank you very much for that, Srihari sir. Thanks everybody. Let's give you another big round of applause. Not for VC's welcome address, Pro VC's welcome address. It is for welcoming our Srihari sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Such a warm welcome address. Now I request our respected Vice President, sir, to address the gathering.
This time I can say good afternoon very clearly. Now we have gone past 12 noon. Good afternoon to everybody on the stage, off the stage, and my dear friends. I'm so happy to welcome our Srihari sir. So let me give some background. When I came to know that sir's term is ending as dean in Binghamton, and so I immediately seized the opportunity and requested sir to be with us. He has a 1-year option. After that, he has to join full-time back in Binghamton. And in this 1 year, of course, he has many other engagements. So he'll be with us for a couple of weeks, every 6 weeks or something. So we came to some arrangement and I managed to get him here. First of all, let me thank him publicly for accepting our request and being here. So when I mentioned this to our Chancellor that Srihari sir accepted, Chancellor was really very, very happy and appreciative that we could get his acceptance to be part of a VIT family. So I have known Srihari sir for a very long time. He is one of the most knowledgeable persons I know, yet he is very humble. Many of you will have the opportunity, would have had the opportunity to interact with him. You wouldn't expect a person of such high caliber, such knowledge, being so humble, being respectful to everybody. I mean, I was really amazed because he was dean for 17 years, I think, right? 15 years at one of the top universities of US. You know, Binghamton is one of the top universities. Recently also, one of the professors of Binghamton got Nobel Prize. Such a great university. And he is the dean of the entire engineering program for 15 years. Basically, he has helped Binghamton move from this level to that level. So such a great person with so much of experience and knowledge, but you don't expect him to be so humble because we have seen such people, only high flyers, right? So that's what I admire most about him. Being down to earth, moving with everybody, respecting everybody, being humble. I mean, these are all characters we need to learn from role models like him. So that's immediately which came to my mind. And second thing, he's a great people's person, a leader. I have seen him with his professors. He gives so much of importance to his team members, everybody, not just the professors, even the secretaries and administrative staff, and all the people in his team love him so much. I've been to Binghamton many times, so they just call him Hari, and he's always in a hurry to get things done. So, that's another admirable quality where he encourages his team members to grow. That's again a rare quality because everybody, the leader only takes credit, doesn't give the credit to the team members. But he ensures to give credit to where it belongs and motivates everybody to grow. So that's another quality which I loved about him. He has helped Binghamton so much. The last time I went, I saw a meeting hall named after Dr. Srihari. Not many people know about it. If you go to Binghamton even today, there's a meeting hall named after him. So, it's extraordinary that, we can interact with such a great person. We get an opportunity to meet. I know individually people may not be able to meet, but I request sir to visit some of the schools also, not just centers, to go and interact so they can learn from you. And one more point which I wanted to mention is about his communication skills. Amazing. The way it's not about just the English skill I'm talking about, it's the communication skills. How you communicate your idea, even if it's a negative thing, he will make it very positive. People will understand that he is trying to give a negative point, but without making you feel uncomfortable. These are things which you get to know when you grow with experience. How to communicate what you want to communicate very effectively. So these are all amazing qualities. Now, I don't want to reveal the complete suspense. You have this 1 year, entire full year. Whenever he comes to that side, you talk to him, you will realize everything. One of the things which I requested sir to help us with is research. Mainly about sponsored research. Creating industry connectivity. Because I have seen what he has done in Binghamton. So when he asked me, what do you want me to do? I put only in one sentence, sir, I want a Binghamton in Chennai. A Binghamton in Chennai. Because he has done amazing things. You go there, you see the latest semiconductor manufacturing facility donated by the industry to Binghamton. Right? All the excellent manufacturing facilities are right there. In fact, I request our Pro-VC and other teams to visit Binghamton, and while sir is there in Binghamton, to understand how they are excelling. How the industry connect is amazing, where industries have full confidence in the professors. That's why they are doing it. So, we need to learn a lot in those areas also. That's one of the main things which I wanted sir to help us with. And of course, we want to become a world-class university. So we can learn instead of going through decades of experience. We do leapfrogging and understand the best practices and the next practices, and we can learn and we can grow there. And I also felt that what in industry they call as UX, right? User experience, our student experience. I feel that there is a lot of scope for us to grow in the experience which a student goes through when he or she joins a top American university compared to an Indian university. There's a lot of gap. So there are a lot of things which we can accomplish. So coming back, I feel that we have a lot of scope for growth when it comes to sponsored research, as well as our academic research program, our PhD program. There's a lot we can simplify. I know the sir is working with Dr. Savmohan on that, because we have, over a period, increased a lot of bureaucracy. A lot of rules have come and all that. Sometimes you need to take a step back and see we can simplify things to make it easy on our scholars to achieve more. So, because our PhD program is one of the most important programs we need to nourish, right? I keep saying in every meetings, our research scholars are our backbone, the engine of our growth. So we need to make sure we facilitate, we make it comfortable for them to grow and excel. If they grow and excel, automatically we grow and excel. So our research program, we need to make sure we are good at. Our sponsored research I already talked about, and our academic experience also. The way we teach and the way they learn, the way we conduct projects. So there are many things which we can accomplish, and I'm sure sky is the limit. I'm so thankful Dr. Srihari accepted our request to be with us. We welcome you with both hands, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for setting the tone of the program. It is amazing to learn excellent qualities of Dr. Srihari and his humble nature and the skills. He will be the real inspiration to all of us in VIT Chennai. Next, I welcome our distinguished professor and advisor to Chancellor, Dr. S.P. Tyagarajan, to give a formal introduction about Dr. Srihari.
Good afternoon to all of you. Respected Vice President, respected Professor Krishnaswami Srihari, respected Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. T. Tyagarajan, and dear Additional Registrar Manoharan, Senior Deans, Directors, Heads of the schools, and colleagues. I am delighted to stand before you today to introduce Professor Krishnaswami Srihari. Our Vice President has very nicely placed Dr. Srihari to all of you as a very humble, humane personality. There is no wonder that he has inherited the genealogy of his parents, of his father, his uncle, and all that. If I tell the names, you will realize that and understand that. His father, Krishnaswami, and then his uncle, Dr. K.V. Thiruvengadam, are the doyens in the medical profession. I had the unique privilege of being with them for several years. In fact, with Dr. KVT, as he is popularly called as, I have worked with him at Stanley Medical College and Madras Medical College and had continuous contact with him, including some of the collaborative research publications. So, when I met Professor Krishnaswami Srihari, I distinctly remembered the same kind of humble conversation, the affection that he was able to show to not only me, but to everybody, including the secretaries and others. That was the great thing which attracted me at once when I met him some time back. So it is great that he is with us as the distinguished professor and advisor to the Chancellor. And we are going to really be benefited to a very large extent because of his presence. And it is going to be a distinct pleasure for me to work with him too. Professor Krishnaswami Srihari was appointed here as distinguished professor and advisor to the Chancellor, as it has been already announced by our Vice President, sir. Prior to his appointment, Dr. Srihari was Dean of the Thomas J. Watson School of Engineering and Applied Science at Binghamton University from June 2009 to May 2024. Dr. Srihari joined the faculty of the Watson College in 1988, and before his deanship, Dr. Srihari served as chair of the Department of System Science and Industrial Engineering. He was talking so much about system science today when we visited the research centers, which was depicting his enormous potentials and experience. He has played a key role in the creation of university-industry partnership as a founding director of the Watson Institute for System Excellence, WISE. From June 2015 to 2020, Dr. Srihari was appointed Executive Vice Provost for International Initiative and Chief Global Affairs Officer for Binghamton University. A prolific scientist, Dr. Srihari is known as an expert in many diverse aspects of electronics, packaging, and manufacturing. Over the past 17 years, he has also pioneered research focused on the use of systems engineering principles in enhancing efficiency in healthcare delivery. He has published over 500 technical papers in leading peer-reviewed journals and at conferences, and authored over 1,000 technical reports, secured over $60 million in external sponsorship, and directed and graduated over 160 master's graduate students, MS graduate students, and over 40 PhD students. In 2004, Dr. Srihari earned the academic rank of Sunny Distinguished Professor, granted only by the Sunny trustees. It is the highest academic rank possible and is conferred on individuals who have achieved national or international prominence. Additionally, Dr. Srihari was named as IIE Fellow in 2014. He has also been recognized with the Chancellor's Award for Excellence, that I think we have to really appreciate, for scholarship and creative activities, the University Award for Excellence in International Education, and APLU's Michael Malone International Leadership Award. These are only a few tip of the iceberg about Dr. Krishnaswami Srihari. I'm sure that both of us are so much committed with alignment of our thoughts and behavior. We will be at your service all the time. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for such a wonderful words about Dr. Srihari. Now I request our respected Vice President, sir, to honor Dr. Srihari with shawl and bouquet. It's a time to listen to Dr. Srihari. I request Dr. Srihari, Distinguished Professor and Advisor to Chancellor, to give the acceptance speech.
Good afternoon. Vice President Dr. Shekhar, our Pro-Vice Chancellor, our advisor Dr. S.P. Tyagarajan, my faculty and staff colleagues of this wonderful august academic institution. I'd like to first sincerely thank Chancellor and our Vice President for this wonderful opportunity to be of service at this august academic institution. It is really a godsend, a wonderful opportunity again to work alongside superb academicians such as our Pro-VC and Professor S.P. Tyagarajan. Thank you. Thank you. Professor S.P. Tyagarajan just raised the bar on me by reminding me that he had worked with my father and Professor K.V. Thiruvengadam many decades ago, or 3 or 4 decades ago. Now I've got new standards to live up to, and they are difficult. About an hour ago, it struck me that we are going to be in the Netaji Auditorium. So I thought I would digress from my prepared remarks to talk a little more about somebody that everybody in India should know about, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, a gentleman who led the Indian National Army starting in Singapore in 1942, and a few years before that led the Indian National Congress. And since we are in the outskirts of Chennai, some of you may know that one of his chief commanders was Captain Lakshmi Swaminathan, who went to college in Madras Medical College, got her MBBS from Madras Medical College, went to Singapore, which was a third world country at that time, started a medical practice, got married to Captain Sehgal, and in 1942, when Netaji went to Singapore, joined the INA, and she was appointed Captain Lakshmi of the Rani of Jhansi regiment. And we were talking about this earlier. Very unfortunately, when you talk, it's the unfortunate part I'll get to in a minute. When you talk about British history, and the British were polled as to their greatest victory, they didn't talk about Trafalgar, they didn't talk about the Spanish Armada, they didn't talk about Waterloo. They said their greatest victory was the battle for Imphal and Kohima, at which the Japanese advance was stopped. But what we don't realize is that on both sides were Indian troops, the British Indian Army and the INA, right? So we had people on both sides with origin from the Indian subcontinent fighting each other. And so I thought, as the Chancellor always does, giving, whether it's the Mother Teresa building in the Vellore campus and the many other names that have been used, this is a very motivating person. And in some cases, people say India's greatest freedom fighter. I won't get into that. But coming back to my prepared script, I've had the pleasure of knowing Vice President Shekhar and I would say the VIT family for several years now. And it has been my pleasure to see from outside the strategic thinking, the excellence in academics, the focus on students, the focus on education that has been exhibited by all members of the VIT family. The dedication, the diligence, the passion, and it's been an absolute pleasure to work alongside and to know, it's been an honor to know the VIT family. All of us know of the Chancellor. He is someone who's always strongly championed the cause of education. Someone who's always indicated that it is a game changer for socially and economically depressed segments of our society. Needless to say, his impact on large segments of rural India vis-a-vis education is very significant. Initially, it was true in Vellore, then in Chennai, Bhopal, Amaravati, and now in Bangalore. This institution, as you all know, is just over 40 years old, started as Vellore Engineering College, had a very modest beginning with about 180 students. Today, the multiple campuses, with the newest addition, I believe, being Bangalore, houses over 88,000 students. And if you have an out-of-body experience, and you can truthfully look at this from outside, it is indeed a stupendous achievement. And today the campus we are in, our Chennai campus, has over 800 faculty, with the vast majority, the preponderance, having obtained their PhDs. And we have 10 academic units led by fantastic academicians. So it was no surprise that a few years ago that VIT was selected to be an Institute of Eminence. It has got multiple awards. What started just 40 years ago, today is ranked as the best engineering and computer science college institution in India in the private sector. And India is not suffering from a lack of universities, there are 1,000 plus to compete with. So, when we talk about age, somebody mentioned where I did my bachelor's. It was at the College of Engineering, Guindy, which started as a survey school for the British, who showed up, and then they had the British East India Company and Fort St. George, which along with Fort William in Kolkata was one of their earliest establishments. What started as a survey school today is, of course, grown into Anna University and so on. But compare this. In 40 years, this university has done better than that. It's just 40 years, and it's due to the hard work of the people who have built this university. Today we have the College of COEP, for example, is the other old college, or has been for a while, and Roorkee. But amongst this, VIT finds a pride of place. And today, VIT has become a known acronym across the Indian subcontinent and increasingly across the world. And all of this did not happen overnight. It happened by strategic thinking, superb implementation, dedication, passion. From a personal standpoint, I've had the pleasure of working with VIT for just over 14 years now. My first contact with VIT was through former Vice Chancellor Dr. Raju. I visited, and I consider this an honor and a privilege, all the VIT campuses. Even last November, we had a meeting with VIT Bangalore. It's been a signature part of my own experience. I'm going to skip over my background. I think we have talked enough about that. But in all the work that I would like to talk about, it is working with people with special needs, people who are differently abled, people who might be, for example, yesterday morning, I had a wonderful conversation with Dr. Menaka and Dr. Sridevi. I think they may be in the audience, about a proposed center for neuroinformatics that looks at, and it's all their work, EEGs and how it can be used as a leading indicator for folks who might develop autism. But that is a personal, something that I'm very interested in. Over the past few days, and in my many visits over the last decade, I've had the pleasure of learning more about the Chennai campus. This is indeed a place of learning that has brought together scholars from different avenues, from different walks of life, different experiences. And each one of these scholars plays a critical role in enhancing the level of academic discourse on our VIT campus. And each in their own way, wants to expand and extend the boundaries of knowledge, which is what university is all about. You can go look at Nalanda, you can go back to ancient Greece, you can go back to Alexandria in the time of Cleopatra, and all these places where people of the known world at that time congregated to learn from each other, to help each other grow academically. Vice President Shekhar touched on this a little. My philosophy as far as working is always what is called servant-based leadership. I see my job as to help others succeed by personally being effective, efficient, and all times being nice. If I'm less than nice, it's my fault. I do not care about the environment, what the causes are, there's no excuse, my fault. And my hope is to inspire others to do the same. Here at VIT, our objective is education, and our primary responsibility, our primary customer, is the student. The student may be a first-year student, maybe a doctoral scholar, maybe somebody working on a postdoctoral fellowship, and all of us continue to be students. But our responsibility, I've always seen as being a student. And what is the servant-based leadership? I know some of you are probably looking at Google right now, but a servant leader is a servant first and foremost. You want to serve, you want to help others. And you try to help others grow to succeed. Your development is not important. When I became department chair in 2003, somebody that VP Sekar may know, my colleague Bhagat Samakia, who is from Cairo and Alexandria, he told me something that I still remember. He said, Hari, now that you're department chair, it's not about you. It's a growth of everybody else around you. And that has been something that I've never forgotten. Always putting the needs of others first and helping others develop as much as I can. And I'm under no false illusion that it's because of me that people develop. That's not totally bogus, that's not true. People develop because who they are. If I can play a small role in that, it's been my privilege. Your success helps the success of your unit or your center. When you do well, your unit does well. When units do well, our campus does well. The campus is you. One thing that I like to say at my home campus, Binghamton, VIT is now also my home campus. I've got multiple homes now. I say this at Binghamton. I say if you remove all the people, we have excellent facilities, some of which our VP has seen. And you come back in 10 years, you're going to find buildings that are falling apart. You're going to find equipment that doesn't work anymore. The importance of the people cannot be overemphasized. Your hard work is cumulatively, collectively makes this institution. We are always looking at how can we do better? How can we build on your successes? How can we leverage each other's intellectual capital? How can we all work as a team where we work both independently and interdependently? How do we work with our external stakeholders? It might be the industry, it might be government, it might be academic partner institutions. And in all this, how do we do better for our principal customer, the student? I always believe in transparency, in dialogue, in collegiality, and accessibility. As Professor SPT has said, he and I are always available. I plan to have office hours where I will be available whenever I am at the campus here. A lot has been said about my tenure as dean at Binghamton. I was very, very lucky to have a team around me that is made up of excellent human beings, wonderful people who are also superb professionals. We care for each other. We make sure we support each other, and we are there for each other during good times and especially during not so good times. I do not believe that any one of us has a monopoly on good ideas. We can definitely learn from each other. And when we learn from each other, when we leverage each other's intellectual capital, 2 + 2 becomes 8. And here at VIT Chennai, and of course at VIT Vellore and everywhere else, there's an excellent repertoire of faculty and our staff colleagues. There is indeed breadth and depth in our intellectual capital. And I've seen that during my many visits. The Vice President mentioned my meetings. I've had meetings with Dean Sabumon, Dean Sivakumar, Dean Ganesan, center directors. Each one, and many, many others, I'm not naming everybody, don't get upset with me, but each one has been a pleasure. It's been something that I've learned from, and I continue to learn from. I would be remiss if I did not mention our HR manager, Lakshmi Devi, who's been so helpful, and my two colleagues, Shobha and Logesh, who are absolutely wonderful. All of this comes together. Our staff colleagues, our faculty colleagues, together we form the VIT Chennai team. And it's because of you that we succeed. Working together, I'm sure we can do even better, build on our successes. We stand on the shoulders of giants. And it's my privilege, my honor, to hopefully play a small part in your academic journey. And thank you very much for this fantastic opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Now the room is full of positive aura and your vibration. As VP sir mentioned, Binghamton making a Binghamton in Chennai via VIT. VIT will become the Binghamton of India. Your presence will definitely give a lot of exposure to our VIT folks. First impression is the best impression. You have made the best impression. Absolutely, we are honored to have you here. And we are already inspired. Definitely, we'll learn a lot. Every one of us will grow with you, with your great presence as well as guidance. Thank you so much, sir. With this, I would like to invite Dr. P.K. Manogran, Additional Registrar, to propose the vote of thanks.
கவலைப்படாதீங்க. Revered VP sir, respected Pro VC sir, distinguished professors and advisors, dear members of VIT family, good afternoon. The star of today's function is our distinguished professor and advisor, Dr. Krishnaswami Srihari sir. Advisors are assumed charge on Monday, the 5th August. This exciting news has filled each and every one of us, particularly faculty members, with extreme joy and pleasure. Dr. K. Srihari sir is not new to us because we have all seen him when our Honorable Chancellor received the State University of New York's Honorary Doctor of Law degree during the convocation ceremony held in US on 10th May. So, his face is very familiar to all of us. In fact, our VP sir wanted to mention that Dr. Srihari sir was solely responsible in all aspects, whether it's preparation of proposal, assessment, and all these things, in all respects, for the conferment of doctorate degree to our Honorable Chancellor. Honorable Chancellor's vision and leadership have brought revolutionary changes in the field of higher education and the growth of VIT institutions. To carry the legacy and the vision of Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Srihari sir's captivating personality and futuristic outlook towards higher education will definitely uplift the standards of VIT institutions. With his vast academic and research experience at the international level, will take our VIT to the level of MIT US or even more than that. Well, it is a good beginning of commencing the academic year 24-25 with his valuable advice, guidance, and rich experience. Friends, with great respect, we express our profound and heartfelt thanks to Dr. Srihari sir for accepting the offer to take VIT to greater heights. இனிய அலுவலக நண்பர்களே, திறமையானவர்களை கண்டெடுத்து அவர்களை விஐடிக்கு அழைத்து வருவதில் வல்லவர் நம் விபி சார் அவர்கள். அண்மை எடுத்துக்காட்டு வேந்தரின் ஆலோசகராக திகழும் டாக்டர் எஸ்பி தியாகராஜன் சார். அந்த வரிசையில் அடையாளம் காணப்பட்டவர்தான் நம்முடைய டாக்டர் ஸ்ரீஹரி சார். தாய்ப்பறவை காடு, மலை, நாடு, நகரம் என்று பறந்து திரிந்தாலும் அதன் எண்ணம் முழுக்க தன் கூட்டில் உள்ள குஞ்சுகளுக்கு என்ன கொண்டு செல்லலாம் என்பதை பற்றியதாகத்தான் இருக்கும். அதுபோல உலகின் எந்த நாடு, நகரம், பல்கலைக்கழகங்களுக்கு சென்றாலும் அங்கிருக்கும் சிறந்த கல்வி முறைகளை, கட்டுமான வசதிகளை VIT சென்னைக்கு கொண்டு வந்து அழகு பார்க்கும் தாய்ப்பறவை நம் விபி சார் என்றால் அது மிகையாகாது. மேஜிக் ஷோக்களில் வெறும் காகிதங்களை போட்டுவிட்டு பிறகு ரூபாய் நோட்டுகளாகவும் டாலர்களாகவும் மாற்றி காட்டும்போது என்று பார்த்து கொண்டிருக்கும் சிறுவனுக்கு ஏற்படும் வியப்பு தான் சில தினங்களுக்கு முன் டாக்டர் ஸ்ரீஹரி சாரை பார்க்கும்போது ஏற்பட்டது எனக்கு. ஆம், வேந்தருக்கு டாக்டர் பட்டம் வழங்கப்பட்ட போது விழா மேடையில் வானத்து நட்சத்திரமாக ஜொலித்த அவரை அண்ணாந்து பார்த்து ரசித்த எனக்கு இன்று VIT வளாகத்துக்குள் அதே நட்சத்திரத்தை அருகிருந்து பார்க்கும்போது வியப்பு மேலிடத்தானே செய்யும். ஒன்றை நினைவில் கொள்ள வேண்டும், மேஜிக் ஷோக்களில் பார்ப்பது பொய்த்தோற்றம், பொன்மானை போன்றது. ஆனால் VIT சென்னையில் நாம் பார்ப்பது நிஜ தோற்றம், பொன்மான் அல்ல, நிஜமான ஸ்ரீஹரி எனும் கல்விமானைத்தான் பார்க்கிறோம். நிறைவாக இத்தருணத்தில் ஒரு வரலாற்று நிகழ்வை குறிப்பிட்டு நிறைவு செய்ய விரும்புகிறேன். வட இந்தியாவில் உள்ள புகழ்பெற்ற பல்கலைக்கழகம் வாரணாசியில் உள்ள பனாரஸ் இந்து பல்கலைக்கழகம். அதனை தோற்றுவித்தவர் சிறந்த கல்வியாளரும் விடுதலை போராட்ட வீரருமான பண்டித மதன் மோகன் மாளவியா அவர்கள். சிறந்த கல்விமான்களை நாட்டில் எங்கிருந்தாலும் அவர்களை எப்படியாவது இழுத்து வந்து என்று சொல்லவில்லை, எப்படியாவது அழைத்து வந்து பனாரஸ் பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் சேர்ப்பது அவர் வழக்கம். அந்த வகையில் பின்னாளில் குடியரசுத் தலைவராக விளங்கிய சர்வப்பள்ளி எஸ் ராதாகிருஷ்ணன் அவர்களின் பெருமைகளை நன்கறிந்த பண்டித மாளவியா அவரை பனாரஸ் பல்கலைக்கழகத்திற்கு கொண்டு வர முயற்சித்தார். ஆனால் டாக்டர் ராதாகிருஷ்ணன் அவர்கள் ஏற்கனவே கொல்கத்தா பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் பணியாற்றி வருவதால் அழைப்பை ஏற்க இயலவில்லை. என்றாலும் பண்டித மாளவியா விடுவதாக இல்லை. நிரந்தரமாக வரவில்லை என்றாலும் பரவாயில்லை, வார விடுமுறை நாட்களில் வந்தால் கூட போதுமானது என்று கூறி அவரை சம்மதிக்க வைத்து விட்டார் அவர். சில மாதங்களுக்கு பிறகு முழுமையாக அவரை பனாரஸ் பல்கலைக்கழகத்துக்கே அழைத்து வந்து விட்டார் மாளவியா அவர்கள். நான் சொன்னது கொஞ்சம் குழப்பமாக தான் இருக்கும் உங்களுக்கு. இங்கு நான் மதன் மோகன் மாளவியாவாக விபி சாரையும் சர்வப்பள்ளி ராதாகிருஷ்ணனாக டாக்டர் ஸ்ரீஹரி சாரையும் பார்க்கிறேன். விபி சாரின் ஒவ்வொரு முயற்சியும் நிச்சயம் நல்ல பலனை ஈட்டித்தரும் என்று உறுதி கூறும் வகையில் உங்கள் உரத்த கரவொலியோடு நன்றி கூறுகிறேன். Finally, I thank respected Pro VC sir, advisors sir, Dean Academics, DSW, Deans, Directors, HODs and staff members for making this welcoming function as a pleasant beginning of the academic year 24-25. Thank you one and all.